Hey, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Jamardi4 here once again, and we are back to watch more episodes of some BS. If you guys didn't get to see the last one was I think the ice cream truck stories, crazy, crazy wild things going on over there. Make sure you go check that one out. That was one of my good ones. And this episode, we're looking at two true restaurant stories, and in my mind, it sounds very much like there's gonna be some crazy waitress that stalks someone and follows them to their house and tries to kill them, or it's gonna be like a evil Chuck E. Cheese Five Nights at Freddy's type of gig. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind after doing this for as long as we've been doing it. So let's just see what the actual story is and let's get into the gig.
It was just my third week at La Lanterna, an old fine dining restaurant with a vintage charm nestled in a quiet part of Chicago. That night, the deep winter cold had kept most patrons away, leaving the grand dining hall almost empty, save for the flickering candles that cast shadows on the walls. Since I was the youngest one, I was given the graveyard ritual, which basically meant that while my colleagues left early to grab some beers, I had to do the cleaning, arrangement of chairs, and a lot of boring stuff before calling it a night. The clock had just chimed 11 when I decided to call Jenna, my girl, to help pass the slow, dragging hours of my late shift. She picked up immediately, her beautiful face lighting up the screen of my phone.
Hey, Lou baby, how's my bub doing?
She smiled.
First of all, are we? I know that's right. You better have old girl got Laverne and Shirley out. Y'all see her? I mean, homegirl busty, ain't she? Go ahead now.
Her voice a soothing balm against the eerie silence of the restaurant.
Aw, you're still at work? Don't tell me they gave you the night shift again. You gotta stand up, boo. You look so weak. How's it going?
Quiet. Too quiet, I whispered, glancing around the dimly lit room. Haven't seen even a car pass by in like half an hour. It's just me in the shadows tonight. As I panned my phone around to show her the empty tables, Jenna's face suddenly tightened.
Louis, there's something behind you.
She said, her voice tinged with worry. I froze for a second, then laughed.
Girl, don't do that. Don't tell me no shit like that. Girl, I'm here. No, first of all, why can't you turn on the light? Like, are there no lights in this, what you call it? Or do y'all, like, turn the lights out because you don't want anybody to think y'all are open? Because, like, why are we in the dimly lit room with just a candle? Did I miss that?
Laughed it off. It's just the coats on the rack, babe. Ghosts don't work in shifts. Jenna tried to smile, but I could tell she was unsettled. As our call ended, a cold draft swept through the room. Shivering, I chalked it up to the old creaky windows and went back to my duties. But as the night wore on, the air grew inexplicably colder. I remembered that I started hearing faint whispers, floating like echoes through the hall, like conversations left unfinished. The sound of clattering silverware from the kitchen made me jump more than once.
Oh, see, nope, time to go. It is time to go because in my job description does not include Ghostbusters. I can't do it. And if my manager got a problem with it, you come and deal with all the goops and goblins and get, stuff going on in new walls. I can't do it. I'm certain they're not paying you enough for that.
Even though I was sure I had left everything in its place. At around midnight, I was setting up for the next day when suddenly the stoves in the kitchen flickered on by themselves. I stared, dumbfounded, as blue flames danced wildly on the burners. Rushing over, I turned them off, my heart pounding in my chest. And that's when I heard it. Chairs scraping across the wooden floor in the dining hall. Who's there? Bill? Madeline? This isn't funny, guys. I walked down, my footsteps hesitant. The chairs around one table were now oddly askew, as if someone or something had just risen from a late-night feast. A chill ran down my spine, and for a moment I considered leaving early, but I knew.
Only for a moment, girl, I would have already been down the street. It took you to just for a moment for all that stuff to happen to feel that way, I would have been already down the street. I already chucked the deuces, baby. Hell nah.
That my seniors were quite capable of pulling pranks like these, and the last thing I wanted was to become a laughingstock again.
Y'all just gonna have to laugh at me. I don't play these games. If y'all gonna do that, y'all just gonna have to hee ha ha at me, bitch.
I swallowed my fear and returned to the kitchen. That's when the shadows began to play tricks on me. Every time I turned around, I caught glimpses of a dark figure lurking just at the edge of my vision. But as I tried to focus, it vanished like smoke in the wind. My nerves frayed. I grabbed my phone to capture whatever it was. But as soon as the camera app opened, the figure disappeared.
Why haven't you called your manager? Y'all gonna have to be like, somebody else gotta work this shit with me. I need at least 2 other mofos up in here to help me do it. I understand I'm the young one, but this is child endangerment laws at this point. Because what is that?
The room felt denser, the air around me tightening like a noose. I remember that my ears suddenly got blocked, as what happens when I'm traveling by plane and the pressure drops. Desperate and now realizing that it actually might not be a prank, I quietly grabbed my coat and slipped out, only to find that the doors were inexplicably locked from inside. Panic set in as I pulled at the handles with no luck. It was then I realized I wasn't alone. Something was with me in La Lanterna, something that didn't want me to leave. Trapped inside the restaurant, the air grew...
Is the glass doors plexiglass? Because at this point, baby, at this point, I can't worry about it, baby. I'm taking one of these chairs. Boom. Because what you mean inexplicably locked from the inside? Oh, no. If that thing is locked from the inside, once I bust up out of here, y'all going to be like, y'all need to fix that. Y'all need to fix that because I got locked in somehow and I don't play those kind of games.
Stifling, as though the building itself was constricting around me. My heart pounded in my ears, each beat echoing the steps of the dark figure that now seemed to linger closer with every passing moment. I glanced around frantically, searching for any sign of movement in the shadows that stretched across the walls like dark, sinister figures. That's when a sudden crash from the bar area made me jump. I turned just in time to see bottles shattering against the hardwood floor, the spirits spilling like blood in a grotesque puddle. And then one by one, the glass bottles started lifting into the air before getting thrown across by an invisible force onto the walls and windows and doors.
Girl, what the hell are we dealing with? Is this the poltergeist? What's the tea?
I ducked in fear and hid beneath the counter as the sounds of bottles shattering echoed all around me, the air filled with the sharp scent of alcohol. And it was then that I heard it, a guttural whisper, so close it felt like it was breathed into my ear. The voice was a distorted growl that faded as quickly as it had appeared. I stumbled back, my phone slipping from my trembling hands and crashing to the floor. The screen shattered, splintering light in all directions before going black. Cut off from the outside world, my only lifeline broken, I felt a surge of primal fear. With no phone to aid me and the doors firmly locked, I scanned the room for another escape. My eyes settled on the large windows that overlooked the deserted street. It was my only chance. I grabbed a chair and with all my strength, hurled it at the window. The glass resisted at first, then gave way with a loud crashing sound that tore through the silent street. As I turned to grab my coat and make a run for it, a cold hand gripped my shoulder with a force that felt like iron. I screamed, spinning around to confront my assailant.
Ooh, Lord. Hopefully this is all a dream, because how is this man throwing this stuff? How is he trapping you in here? Why me? Why are you bothering me? Bother these other people. I'm innocent.
But there was nothing. Only the chilling sensation of fingers slowly retracting from my skin. It was enough to send me scrambling through the broken window, shards of glass biting into my hands as I escaped into the icy night. Outside, the cold air hit me like a wall, but I didn't stop running until I reached the safety of the streetlights. Looking back, the restaurant stood dark and silent, a stark contrast to the chaos that had reigned inside moments before. The next morning, I returned, driven by a mix of fear and an insatiable need for answers. The owner, an elderly man who'd run the place for decades, called me into his cabin and finally shared the dark history of La Lanterna.
First of all, you went back there a little too fast for me. Anything that this man could have told me, you could have told me via phone or via FaceTime. Because I'm not going to walk back up in there after I just escaped the spirits. How do I know he's not going to lock me in there again? Hello? Am I crazy?
It had been a speakeasy during Prohibition, a site where a violent shootout between rival gangsters had ended in tragedy and death. Since then, it was said that the restless spirits of those caught in the crossfire haunted the place. He looked at me, his eyes filled with a mix of sympathy and fear. Some say at night, the spirits replay their last moments, filled with anger and confusion. I thought they were just stories, he confessed. As I listened, the horrors of the previous night replayed in my mind, each whisper and shadow now cast in the tragic glow of history's light. I knew I couldn't return to work there, the memories of that night too vivid, too raw to ignore. I left La Lanterna behind that day, but even now, when the night grows silent, I feel like someone's watching me in the dark, about to call my name, or perhaps hold my hands. This story was inspired by disturbing restaurant footage. The man in the video is known as Dustin Frazier. While working the night shift all by himself, he decided to record a video for his girlfriend. However, before sending the video, he watches it and immediately starts freaking out. Have a look.
No, because I'm freaking out, guys. So I just Snapchatted, my friend, right? And I, walked through, and now the alarm's going off. So I was walking through here, and whenever you get right here, you can see something behind me. And I watched it, I did a playback.
See, now this used to be all fun and games. This used to be for kiki, entertainment. Y'all bringing in real spirits. Y'all bringing in real shit. I'm just I was a little taken aback just now. Sorry about that, but yo, am I about to see something on this camera in real life? Because watching the cartoon animated stuff, it's fun, it's fine, it's good. But seeing it in real life, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if my heart can take it, but let's see.
Before I sent it to him, right? And,
oh God, I don't want to see it. Oh God, oh God. Oh God. I don't know, y'all. Look. I don't want to see the snap. I'm nervous. I'm scared for real. Cause I don't want to see nothing that I could see in real life. I do this for y'all. If y'all make me regret this, I swear to God.
I feel like I need to go to a doctor, but I'm constantly just nauseous, and I don't really know why. I have tried to take medicine for it and stuff, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it really does anything. And then whenever I go and I'm just laying down and stuff, I can't.
Though there were no further updates given by Dustin, and there is no definitive explanation for this footage, after the video was released, many viewers believed some unknown creature or something was captured by the camera.
I'm never going out to eat again. I'm just never gonna do it.
It was an unusually busy Tuesday evening at Maison Étoile, a restaurant famed for its immaculate French cuisine and often reserved for the city's elites. As one of the senior waitresses, I navigated through the tables with practiced ease, my mind preoccupied with orders and table numbers. Little did I know, the night would unfold into a scene of terror that would haunt my dreams forever. The evening started like any other, with the clinking of fine china and the murmur of well-dressed patrons indulging in their culinary delights. Benjamin, the shy, quiet cook who had joined our kitchen staff a few months prior, was barely noticeable in the bustling kitchen. His presence was almost ghostly, his interactions minimal but cordial. Around 8 p.m., guests began to complain of feeling unwell. At first, it was a table of 4 in the corner of the main dining room. Soon, more hands were raised, voices tinged with panic. The symphony of a typical dinner service morphed into a cacophony of coughs and calls for help. My heart raced as I moved from table to table, trying to assure our guests, while sweat beaded on my forehead, not just from the rush, but from a growing dread. I rushed to the kitchen to alert our staff, and that's when I saw him, Benjamin, his back turned, mumbling under his breath, his hands trembling as he handled a bag that didn't look like any ingredients I recognized.
Now, y'all hired this man, and y'all didn't do no... If he's doing all this, y'all didn't do no kind of background check for somebody that's going to be serving y'all food? Well, alright.
I called out to him, my voice drowning in the chaos, but he didn't respond. He simply continued his mysterious work.
And one thing about it, I am certain, when this man turns around, he's going to have some sick, twisted, bumpy, frightening ass smile on his face. I just know it's going to be horrific. I think I saw it in the thumbnail. I can't remember, but my God.
Pouring something from a small vial into the dishes ready to be served. The first scream pierced the air, a scream that curdled my blood. It came from the main dining area, loud and terrified. I ran out to see a man clutching his throat, his face a ghastly shade of blue. Panic erupted as more patrons began to exhibit symptoms of severe food poisoning. Amidst the screams and confusion, Benjamin emerged from the kitchen, his eyes red, a chilling smile playing on his lips.
What did I tell you, mofos? There's no way that this man sent an application looking like this, talking about some, I'm going to prepare y'all food. There's just no way. There's just no way. Because what the fuck is this? What is it?
As he clutched a bag with sharp blades emerging out. With a horrifying calmness, he approached a group of diners and slashed the air with a cleaver, barely missing a woman's face. Poison, just like my son, he muttered repeatedly, each word slicing through the thick air of fear. Guests scrambled to their feet, knocking over chairs and glasses in a desperate attempt to flee from the madness. Benjamin moved methodically through the crowd, his cleaver glinting under the overhead lights, his face a mask of twisted fury. The air was thick with terror. He moved across swiftly, locked the 2 main doors, and signaled the scared patrons with his cleaver to help pull the drapes down. I hid behind the bar, my entire body shaking, as I watched him approach a terrified young couple. You think this is just dinner? It's not, sir. You don't know what happens behind the scene. You think that you can just come marching down, throw your purse to impress your lady with some fine food and leave? They fool you. The expensive food. You can pick better at your grocery store, cook it, and it would still taste better than this shit.
Okay, so I know this is supposed to be like a horrific moment, and this is supposed to be like really scary, but this is probably the first time I've watched any of these type of stories where the madman or the crazy person is actually up here making a lot of sense. Okay, he's not wrong. If we pay all this money to go out and go to these different restaurants and do all this different stuff, when you could easily go to the grocery store for cheaper, cook it yourself, and it would more often than not taste better. He's not wrong. He's crazy, but he's not wrong.
All these fancy chefs, they would spit in your food before serving you. Did you know that? They mix things that make you sick. Look around. All these fancy people vomiting and shitting, all for some food. Do you think they really care? He yelled, his voice breaking. They aren't here to serve you. They're here to abuse you. Abuse you and your children. No matter how much hard you try to save your loved ones, trust me, you will not be able to. The couple at the feet of Benjamin quivered in fear. The man tried to shield his partner, begging for mercy that I knew wouldn't come. Benjamin's response was to toss a handful of blades in front of them, pick them up, and slide them against her throat.
Yo, okay. Let's think about something here. Because I was just thinking, well, all these people in this restaurant should be able to take him down, because all he has, as far as we know, is a meat cleaver, right? Somebody, but then I'm like, ooh, but they all like spewing, they can't breathe, they kind of incapacitated a little bit. I'm like, damn. So he about to make them slit their throats? Lord have mercy.
The man denied. I squeezed my eyes shut, trying to block out the screams, the pleading, the sound of slicing that followed. I froze in terror. When I opened my eyes again, I saw the couple lying in their pool of blood. A scream came out of me suddenly, drawing the psycho's attention. He called the staff and chefs out next, making them stand in a line and hold their ears. He approached them one by one.
Yo, this man is trying to live out his Saw fantasy right now. Like, what is going on? What is he even talking about?
Asking the first person to say sorry to him. When that person quivered, he was met with a cleaver to his hand. He moved on to the next one, and then the next, leaving few for the staff, but hitting every chef he could see. No begging or crying could shake him. "Ah, Lisa," he said.
First of all, why these people in the back ain't got no faces? Okay, the least y'all could have gave them is some eyeballs. Damn.
While tossing a phone towards me. "Record this, will ya?" I picked the phone and pretended to record as he went about picking chefs and patrons, slashing at them. It was the hardest thing I had to watch, but the very first clip I uploaded on my Twitter with the location of the restaurant and type.
You know what? You're not a stupid girl. You're kind of wise. I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he just thought, oh, she's not gonna open social media and go live. You stupid.
Help. The ordeal seemed to stretch into an eternity until the sharp crack of a sniper's rifle echoed through the restaurant. Once, twice, Benjamin fell to the ground, his reign of terror cut abruptly short. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the soft whimpers and sobs of the surviving patrons. The snipers found a gap between the window and the drape, and that was all they needed. As the police swarmed in and paramedics attended to the injured, the gruesome reality of the event began to sink in. The floor was chaos incarnate, stained with blood and scattered with the remains of a meal that had turned deadly. I sat there, among the chaos, my uniform stained, my hands trembling uncontrollably. I had survived, but at what cost? The images of that night would forever be etched into my mind, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the depths of human despair. In that moment, nothing made sense. Why did Benjamin do it? What drove him to such madness? The answers would come much later, unraveling a story of personal tragedy that no one could have anticipated. As the police cordoned off the scene, the once immaculate restaurant stood desolate, a sight of horror rather than culinary delight. In the aftermath, I learned the full extent of Benjamin's heartbreaking motive. 2 years ago, his young son had dined at our restaurant and suffered from severe food poisoning, complications from which he never recovered. Benjamin had watched him wither away, a slow and painful death that no parent should ever witness. His grief had morphed into an unquenchable thirst for...
Now, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know if that's your blood son, because y'all, he don't look like that. You know what, this is supposed to be a serious moment. Let's keep going.
Revenge, a desire to inflict the same pain that had been dealt to his family. As further details emerged, so did the trauma. I knew that nightmares would plague me. The slightest clang of kitchenware would send shivers down my spine. Benjamin's tortured face would haunt my sleep, his eyes wild with pain and anger, and his...
Y'all did not have to zoom in and give that kind of sound effect, bitch. Ooh, Lord, that man ugly.
His voice would be a constant echo in my mind. For me, life moved on, but it was never the same. Each shift was a reminder. Each dish served a nod to the delicate balance between sanity and madness.
You still working at the same place? They didn't shut that thing down after they hired some crazy lunatic? What?
I had survived, yes, but survival was just the beginning. Healing, I realized, was an ongoing journey, one that I was only just embarking upon. A journey marked by the pain of the past and the hope of what lay ahead. I just pray that Benjamin found his son, wherever he went to.
Well, that was... Oof, Lord. All right. Well, that was interesting. I said that was very interesting. Oh, hold on. Damn thing auto going. Yeah, so thank y'all so much for watching. Let me turn the autoplay off. Yeah, check out all the other videos on the channel. I really appreciate anybody who supports this content that we're doing over here. Share it with somebody, let a friend know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.